In this video, I'm going to give a general overview of the layout of Fusion 360 and where on the screen different tools are located. So when you open Fusion 360, you should see a screen that looks pretty much like this. The general layout that we have here is the middle of the screen. This gray area is your workspace. This is where your designs are going to appear. Along the top, we have all of our different tools. Now, you actually have different tool sets you can switch between. We have the solid tools, surface tools, mesh tools, etc. And if you start a sketch, then the tools along the top of the screen will switch to be the sketch tools as long as you're working on the sketch. When you finish sketch, the tools will revert back. In this class, we are only going to be using the solid tools and the sketch tools. If you end up in the surface or sheet metal or any of these other modes, you've strayed from the path and you want to go back home. If you want to access all of your Fusion files, you can do that by opening the data panel, which is this grid of 3x3 squares. When you click on that, you will open up sort of the file management system in Fusion. It's important to remember that in Fusion, all of this information is stored in the cloud, which means you can access all of your Fusion files regardless of what computer you're logging on from. This is great because if your laptop battery dies or something else happens, you can use one of the lab computers the same as you would your personal computer. So if I click into my class examples folder, I've got some subfolders, I've got some files down here, all my stuff is there. Also up at the top, you can see right now I'm in my personal project, which is just named after me. If I hit this drop down though, I can also join other teams that I'm a member of. So I have a team called Metcalf Students Hub. That's where you are all going to be sharing your assignment files with me for grading. So I've got a folder here for the Engineering 2 class this past fall, and then all the students have their own folders inside of that. I can close the data panel to save some space with this little X button, and I'm going to keep looking around. On the left side of the screen here, this is called the browser, and this is a list of all of the sort of pieces or elements in my current design. So an important thing to know about the browser is if you click one of these little arrows, it'll expand it. So under document settings, I can see what units I'm working in. Currently it's inches. If I click this little button, I can change it to millimeters. I've got something called views, which we don't use very often. Under origin, these are all the sort of primary geometry coordinates of the file. So we've got an actual origin point, we've got the X, Y, and Z axes, and then we have the three primary planes, X, Y, X, Z, and Y, Z. Now you may notice that these are all invisible until I click on them. That's because the whole origin folder is currently invisible. It's got a little eyeball next to it that is crossed out. If I click on that, everything will become visible. And this is true for everything in the browser. If you click the eyeball next to something, it will disappear. If you click the eyeball again, it will reappear. And because I created a sketch a minute ago, I've got a sketches folder here, which has that first sketch located in it. It doesn't look like much right now because I haven't really designed anything in this document, but if I open up a more complete design, then you'll see the browser starts to be populated with more things. So we've got bodies. These are all the 3D pieces of the design. We've got a whole bunch of different sketches, and we also have construction. This is sort of pieces of geometry that are not part of the model but were useful in creating the model. And if you don't understand what that means, that's okay. We'll get there eventually. Continuing along the bottom we have what's called the timeline. This is a record of everything you've ever done in the design file. It's all the steps that you took to create your file. So for a complex model like this one, you can see there were a whole lot of steps that I went through to make this model. And what's really powerful about the timeline is we can actually go back in time and change things. I like to say that we're like Back to the Future or the Terminator. So if you made a mistake, let's say I created a part where I didn't mean to create a part, in a program like Photoshop, maybe you would just kind of paint over that mistake. Your mistake would have been there and you would cover it up. In Fusion, you don't want to do that. You actually want to go back in time and correct it so that mistake never occurred. So this little dark gray vertical line here shows me where I am in the timeline, and I can click and drag it and go back in the past. So this is a much earlier point in the model where I had not completed as much work. I can also use these little arrow keys at the bottom left corner to step forward and backward in time. So you can see this button here is next step, and if I click it, I'll go step by step through the design process. I can also use this arrow all the way on the left to go all the way to the end, or the arrow all the way on the other side will go back to the beginning. I can step forward from there. Just above the timeline, we have a set of options here. These are how you can view your model differently and also change your view settings. So we can click this little screen icon. We get a whole bunch of different view settings. We can change our grid settings. I don't like to have a grid turned on. We can also select different view tools. So if we click the pan tool, we can click and drag our view around side to side. If we click the orbit tool, we can alter the 3D view of our object. The last thing I want to point out is this little cube in the top right corner of the screen. This shows you the orientation of your model. So this is just sort of a general little box, and we've got our coordinate system, the X, Y, and Z axes on it. You can click on different parts of this cube and get different views. So if I want a front view, I can click on the front. If I want a right view, I can click on this little arrow. You can also click on edges and corners of the box. So if I click on this corner of the box, I'll get this nice isometric view. And additionally, you get these two little arrows here which let you rotate your view side to side. If you want a more particular view, you can also just click on the box and drag it and change your view to any particular view that's most helpful to you. The last thing I'll mention is if you want to edit your preferences like keyboard shortcuts or any of the sort of graphics display stuff, you can do that by clicking on your initials in the upper right corner and going to Preferences. This will give you this whole big list of all sorts of things that you may not need to engage with, but if you need to tweak your preferences, that's how you get to them.